Hey guys, Chris the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel, and we're up to part 12 of the Great Farm Cleanup. Part 11 was just yesterday, so I'm still at the farm. It's now only Tuesday, but we've had a pretty big day mucking around today, cleaning up. We got a few things picked up, or one thing, and there's a guy coming in about 15 minutes. It's about 6 p.m. now, so it's been a pretty long day. It's been a nice day. The sun's setting, and I'll just take you for a quick walk around and show you what we've achieved. The guys came to pick up the combine, and they only came in a ute, and I think they were a bit ambitious, and we couldn't get it hooked up neatly to the back of the ute. He has to tow it about 30 kilometres, so they're coming back on the weekend with a tractor. It's a bit of a long drive for a tractor, but at least they'll be able to tow it home okay. Dad has moved it into the yard here. We've put a bit of extra air in the tyres, and we've raised the hydraulic ram as high as we can go so that the tines don't plough the road up on the way back. So that's fine. They were happy with it. They've actually paid the $1,000, so that will be gone on the weekend. Of course, I won't be here anymore then, but Dad has met them, so that's fine. That'll get rid of that. So the other thing happened this morning as I walked back down to the lane. We had a guy come to look at the concrete posts, and I just asked 100 for the lot, and he decided to take them, but he has to come back next week with a trailer to pick them up. So again, we've teed up the deal, but it hasn't left the property yet. I think he's just going to use them for garden edging, so that's okay. We don't mind what things get used for. Look at my long shadow. You can tell the sun's low in the horizon. I've been down the lane with the ute and the trailer to pick up a few things from the machinery graveyard. Picked up a few more of these harrows that I'm just going to weld up. There's a few broken pieces on them, and I'll just make them more stable. Just with a bit of a quick welding job. Found a few other bits and pieces down there. This old worm drive winch was on an auger, and I thought it was worth taking off. I should get $50 for that easily. A few other bits and pieces for the shop. So we'll do that probably in the morning. I've been loading some stuff in the van. I haven't really sort of thought too much about what I'm going to take back, but I'll show you what I've put in there anyway. Oh, and I bought that cattle feeder up from down the graveyard, and there's a guy coming back to get that tomorrow night. So we thought we'd bring it up here because it's going to be dark by the time he gets here. So we got $50 for that, which I think is fine. It's better than leaving it for scrap metal. It's actually in pretty good condition. It just needs the legs fixed up. They're a bit rusted away. And I've been rounding up some gates to take back because gates always sell very well. This is a nice old one. It's got the original scroll work on the top of it. So really nice wrought iron work. So that gate should sell quite well. I think I'll probably trim the wire back at the top, the mesh, and I think we'd get about $50 for that gate. Nice original farm gate. So I put a few things in here, including this long shaft that was down there with the machinery, and a few other gates and things in there. So I haven't really done much loading as yet. And over here where the combine was, I've been cleaning up. We're making a few decisions on things. I'm starting to stack up some steel posts, these star pickets. We did sell a pallet full of these back a while, and I think it was one of our first eBay listing runs, and we got $100 for a whole pallet full, but there was about 200 of them there. Admittedly, some were rusty and bent, but I'm going to take all the straight ones back to the shop because I think I'll get much better value there for them, and I've got a little side lane where I can keep them and just put a few out for sale each weekend, and I think we'll do much better than just selling them in a bulk lot. And they're not hard to move, so I'm picking out all the straight ones to do that with. Now if we have a peek down the lane here, you'll see where the combine was. So we've neatened up this shed. I've spent a bit of time here organising stuff today. We have some drums probably to sell at some stage. There's some old rusty barbed wire. Now, rather than just throw that to the scrap metal pile, there may be someone interested in that because they do garden-type sculptures out of barbed wire. I'm glad it's not me. You'd want to wear really thick gloves, but they can actually sell quite well in Melbourne. We also have some poly droppers. These are fence droppers for electric fences. So they're made out of plastic, basically, recycled plastic, I believe. And they sell, they're about $2 each to buy new, so we might put that whole group on Facebook for 20 bucks or 15 bucks or something. Haven't had any takers on the bathers yet. But the fence posts, there they are. If you didn't see them earlier, the guy's going to use them for garden edging, so that's fine. They've been claimed. Bit of scrap metal I've been piling up here, which we'll probably take down the lane. This old culvert I did have on Facebook, and Ross has decided he's got a use for it, so that'll be staying here. A little bit more scrap metal. I chopped a few brass pieces off some of these water pipes. Big chunks of brass. I might as well take that back to my brass bins rather than leave it go to the scrappy over here. And some light gauge stuff that'll probably go to the transfer station locally, and a little bit of rubbish, although there's an aluminium light shade there we might salvage. So there's not actually much to clean up down this lane. We're really starting to get things organised. This stock crate, guy's coming to pick up tomorrow, so we got $100 for that crate, and I don't know if he's actually going to use it as a truck stock crate or just as an animal enclosure at his farm. We've just propped it together. It can go in any number of configurations. When it was on a truck, I think this front panel was actually in the middle to create 2 pens. So that's all right. Good to get that gone as well. So it's pretty well the end of the day, Tuesday. I'm going in for some tucker shortly. Probably work on another YouTube video for you guys. I've got a few stacked aside to put up. I might put part 11 up. Hello, here's someone to come and get the shearing grinder, so I better go and get him loaded. And now some footage from earlier in the day where we had Shannon come and pick up the 2 big wheels from down the machinery graveyard, and they're destined to be a garden feature in his at his property. So Ross was helpful in loading those again. It's been really handy with having the load around. So there goes some more weight, some more tonnage off the property, and to be loved somewhere else, and much better than scrap price, so that was good. We also had this old generator. This is Dad's generator, which is a good unit, and I decided to take that home because he's bought a new one. And so we're a little bit fast motion here as I'm trying to nut out how to get it up into the van on an old shopping trolley. So I like most things, I'd like to try and have a go myself. And I got halfway up and I started to lose traction on the plank with my shoes. And because shopping trolleys are notoriously unreliable with their steering, I had to go and get my girls, that's Jess and Melissa, a bit of muscle to help me push it up, and we got that into the van. Then I also welded up some of these old harrow bars that I've talked about a few times. So I got Dad's welder out and made a few repairs just to hold them together so that they didn't, some of them had broken pieces of metal. Dad, of course, came out to inspect my welds. Everything was okay there. I think I passed. And we had some ladies pick up an old cage from down the side of the driveway, and they also purchased some chicken wire, and they took the poly pipe that I had trouble getting rid of on Facebook. That was for free. And so it was another busy day yesterday. I didn't film much yesterday, and that brings us now to Thursday morning. I'm going home just after lunch. So we've actually got a fair bit done this week. I've been pretty happy with our progress. The pickups didn't all go to plan. Let's have a quick look down the lane here where I've been working on. This area is a lot neater now, as you can see. The guy was supposed to come and get that stock crate, and he is still coming, but he couldn't make it yesterday, so he's actually coming Saturday, and Dad's met him before, so that's all good. So that'll be gone over the weekend. We've moved a heap of old concrete, and I had a big pile here, and Ross has actually taken that down to the old dam to get rid of that. And these truck panels were going to be picked up today, but again, something's cropped up and the person can't make it, so we'll probably leave that to my next trip. So we also have the concrete posts back in behind the drums that will be picked up next week. So yeah, some of our pickups haven't gone to plan this week, but as you saw, we did have some stuff go. Now, the girls have also helped me load some heavy stuff into the van, and you can see the van's sitting down a little bit on the back axle there. And we put all the batteries in. I'll show you what I'm taking back. It's a bit overcast and windy today, but we've had a pretty good week of weather. So there's all the batteries, and there's a few other things to take back to the shop, and I'm going to try selling some of the steel posts at the shop. There's various other bits of metal, and I've got to take some other stuff from out of Mum's shed. And the generator's up the front there under the blankets. So that's a good enough load, certainly weight-wise, and I do have to pick up some other stuff from a mate on the way home. We've got a few things organised for next trip. I've taken a few photos. We've been getting a bit of stuff out of sheds randomly. We haven't really worked on cleaning out a shed directly. I ended up working down the lane. And just like that, I'm back in the workshop at home. Sorry for that abrupt change in film, but I had audio troubles when I was walking around the farm and I couldn't use the rest of the footage I took. But anyway, regardless, I was just showing you a few more things I was taking photos of. But we'll call this episode finished. That's episode 12 of the Great Farm Cleanup. I've been home for a day or so. The trip back went fine. The van was a bit sluggish. It had a fair bit of weight in there, all those batteries. So I've already started unloading some of the stuff in the shop and been pricing a bit. And with the batteries, I'll leave them in the van, and I'm going to add some that I've got here. And I'm going to sort out a bit of copper pipe that I've acquired recently, and possibly also a bin full of insulated wire. And I think I'll do a scrap run to Melbourne fairly soon. I haven't done one since before my shoulder surgery. Remember, we did that flurry of scrap runs to Melbourne all mid last year when I was cleaning up the shop. So it'd be good to get back to the yard, get a bit more money in the account, and get these batteries off my currently sluggish van. So thanks for watching, guys. Another episode of the Great Farm Cleanup finished. We will continue that with episode 13 in a few weeks. I do have to try and list that roller mill on eBay, and I'll collate a few more photos and do some more Facebook marketing before we go across. Probably in about 4 weeks' time. I want to do a trip each month. So if you're just following the Farm Cleanup series, I'll catch you then. For the rest of you that like watching all the stuff I get up to, there'll be another repair video very soon and some more unboxings. See you in the next one. Bye for now.